vast majority of diets fail, not because people quit, but because the diets themselves are broken. I'm Dr. Jon Go. I'm an eye surgeon. I lost 75 pounds and kept it off even through the 80-hour weeks of training. Smart, driven people fail at diets over and over again. And every time they blame themselves. I just couldn't stick with it. I have no willpower. Wrong. You didn't fail the diet failed you. Here are the 3 pitfalls built into almost every single diet that no one tells you about. Pitfall number 1, the starvation response. The first pitfall is overly aggressive caloric restriction, cutting calories too fast and too deep. This is the default advice, and it's the first reason most diets collapse. My feed is filled with every single influencer touting an aggressive cut. This is a bad idea, and here's why. Your body isn't passive during a diet, it actively adapts. So when you drop from 2,500 calories to 1,200 calories, your metabolism doesn't hold still. Your body enters a protective conservation state, and a few things happen. The first is that NEAT decreases. NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, basically all the calories you burn outside of conventional exercise. So it's like unconscious movement, fidgeting, standing, all of this drops without you even noticing. The second is your hormones react to the sudden drastic drop in calories. Thyroid hormone output can slow and hunger hormones spike. After 2 to 3 weeks on a deep cut, research suggests you might be burning anywhere from 150 to 500 calories fewer per day than you were at the same body weight before you even started the diet. The deeper the cut, the more your metabolism reacts. Your calorie deficit is no longer a deficit because your body adapted to your lower calorie intake. During my residency, I remember cutting my calories to 1,400 calories a day. I felt exhausted all day and I wasn't losing any weight despite feeling like I was doing everything by the book. It was classic metabolic adaptation. This is why the scale stalls at weeks 3 or 4. It might be because you're running a smaller engine compared to the one you started with. Here's what to do, or more, what not to do. Never cut more than 15% below your maintenance calories. Here's a simple formula to get your rough starting numbers. Body weight in pounds times 15 is approximate maintenance. This assumes moderate activity. If you're mostly sedentary, use 13 instead of 15. Take 15% off that number. That's your starting target calories for weight loss. For most active guys, this is 1,800 to 2,200 calories a day, not 1,200. Reassess every 2 weeks using weekly averages, not daily weigh-ins. Daily fluctuation is just noise. The weekly average is the data you want. And if you've been cutting for any more than 8 weeks, consider eating at a maintenance for 1 to 2 weeks before continuing. This helps reset your metabolism and your hormones before you push again. When I switched from a 40% deficit to a 10 to 15% deficit, I actually started losing fat faster because I stopped fighting my own biology. So that's the first pitfall. Your deficit's too deep, your body shuts down, and the math stops working. But fixing your calories doesn't fix the second problem, because even at the right number, most diets are still wired to make you binge. Pitfall number 2, the deprivation trap. Now, the second pitfall is restriction-based thinking. That is, building your entire diet around a list of things you can't eat. It sounds like discipline, but it works against your brain at a psychological level. And the research is pretty clear on this. There's something called the ironic process theory. When you try hard not to think about something, your mind brings it up even more. In a classic 1987 study, psychologist Daniel Wegner told people not to think about a white bear. They couldn't stop. They later showed a rebound effect, thinking about it even more than the group who were told to think about it freely. A no-carb diet works the same way. When you tell yourself you can't have carbs, your brain keeps checking for the exact thing you're trying to avoid. Cravings get louder, not quieter. Most of us know from experience that willpower runs out, and the science, while still evolving, backs this up. The longer you resist a fixated craving under stress, the harder it gets to hold the line. This is why people binge after clean streaks. The restriction itself primed the binge. Restriction also creates binary, all or nothing thinking, like on the diet, off the diet. One slip becomes total abandonment. One time, I was 3 weeks into strict keto with perfect compliance. I went out for all-you-can-eat KBBQ with friends, and my plan was to just not eat all I can and avoid carbs. But once we got going, I broke. I ate a ton of rice paper, a ton of marinated meats, and a ton of white rice. I wasn't even that hungry going in, but it wasn't hunger that drove it. I spent the last 3 weeks trying to not think about carbs, which meant my brain was thinking about carbs constantly. The Korean barbecue was just the first moment the gate opened. So here's what to do. Replace restriction with addition. I eat 180 grams protein a day, not I don't eat carbs. It's a completely different state of mind. It's like the difference between I have to exercise versus I get to exercise. Do you see the difference? Build meals around protein and fiber first. This manages hunger through addition, not subtraction. When you're full on the right things, cravings shrink on their own. Allow 1 to 2 planned treat meals per week. These are strategic, not emotional. Building planned cheat meals into your system allows your brain to stop fixating. Lastly, design your environment. Don't keep trigger foods in the house. Don't rely on willpower to resist what's in front of you at 9 p.m. When I stopped saying no to carbs and started saying protein first and focusing on whole foods, consistent, healthy eating became way easier. Not because of more willpower, but because I stopped needing it. So, you fixed the deficit, you've switched from restriction to addition, but here's the thing, none of it survives a bad week without the third piece. And this is the one piece that most people never build. Pitfall number 3. The missing system. The third pitfall, and I think that this really is the biggest one, is that diets give you rules, but no system. Rules tell you what to do when everything's going well. Systems tell you what to do when everything goes wrong. What do I mean by this? So for example, a diet says, eat 1,500 calories. A system says, here's how to measure, here's how to adjust, here's what to do when you travel, here's how to handle a bad week, and here's how to know if it's actually working. Most diets have no feedback loop, no adjustment protocol, no bad week fallback. Diets are built for ideal conditions. Busy people don't have ideal conditions. 24-hour call, back-to-back board meetings, conference, travel, weeks where you eat nothing until 9 p.m. The diet breaks not because of character failure, but because there is no protocol for real life. When rules stop working, and they always eventually do, there's no step 2, there's no plan B. So people quit, and then they blame themselves. People who maintain their weight loss long-term aren't more disciplined. Research consistently shows they have more structured systems. Tracking, adjustments, protocols, fallbacks, adjusting on the fly, not more willpower. I highly suggest checking in weekly with yourself. Compare weekly scale average to expected weight loss. If your expected weight loss isn't at target, try to add activity output first before cutting food. And if you do adjust calories, only ever adjust by 10% max at a time. Try to implement simple guardrails on the day-to-day. Prioritize protein, opt for single ingredient whole foods. Couldn't get your run in the morning? That's okay. Go on a walk or a run after lunch or after work. Anything is better than nothing. The people who keep weight off aren't more disciplined. They have better systems. Systems that survive stress, travel, bad weeks, and real life. That's the only difference between them and everyone else. Diets fail because they're built on 3 broken assumptions. That aggressive restriction can lead to lasting fat loss forever, that willpower is unlimited, and that rules alone are enough. Fix those 3 flaws, right-size deficit, addition over restriction, systems over rules, and you join the minority who actually make it stick. Now, if you want to see the complete system, nutrition, training, recovery, measurement, the full protocol I used to lose 75 pounds, I put it all together in one video right here.